So, hello everybody, and welcome to the second part. What I did in the meantime, let's just close that. Of course, what you need to do is to place down an instance node for the Redshift proxies and full point instancing, and on the Redshift object tab, override user data. That should do the job. And with that, we can basically start. What I want to show you is that I exported a few proxies. So let's get a Redshift pack proxy. We will just place it down, and you can see nothing is in here. And let's just call that RS proxy mineral 01. And what I want to do, I want to import my proxies. So you can see I did 5 of them. So this is number 1. Let's get number 2. This is number 2. Number 3. I think number 4 is a smaller one. Yes. And now you can see we've got like four proxies here. You can change the display mode, for example, to bounding box or to points. In the later thing, I think bounding box would be like one of the best things, because of course when you display like, I don't know, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 proxies, it will be way faster in bounding boxes, but it will, I think, automatically change the display mode, so we can check that out, for example. But first of all, let's just display them as a bounding box. So bounding box, bounding box, bounding box, bounding box. And now the cool thing is that we can merge them together, make a connectivity, and rand them. So let's merge them together. And I want to place down a simple connectivity. Let's get that. And with the connectivity, we can introduce, for example, a custom attribute. So let's call them rand proxy. Let's just call them like that. And what I want to do, just for a quick test, I want to place down a grid. I want to place down a scatter node. After that, we need a copy to points, and we need an attribute from pieces. Attribute from pieces. And what I want to do, I want to shuffle or randomize on each point the proxy with this given node. So what I want to do, I want to introduce the name or the attribute in here. Then you can switch it, for example, to random. So mode random. A seed, then you can weight it. You can get it with a weight attribute. So you can distribute it pretty accurately all over your mesh, for example. And what I want to do, I want to get that into the geometry library. This into the point cloud. This in here, and what I want to do on the copy to points, I want to introduce the piece attribute, and the piece attribute will be not our rand in this case. It will be the rand proxy. And now you can see we've got our different geometries. Of course, for example, I think we could color them. Yes. For example, when we color them in randomly, or just give each a specific color. Red, green, blue, and white. You can see we've got now a random proxy on each point. And the nice thing is, let's go for attribute randomize. Just quickly randomize our rotation here. We go out. And what I want to do, just set up a simple redshift scene. I think that should be now in the head of everybody. Standard material. We'll set up a material later. And I think I've got a simple dome light here. Yes. Let's go into a camera. Let's just delete the cameras here. I just want to get quickly into this camera here. And you can see our big mineral field. But the thing is, it's the wrong camera. Yes. Let's just refresh it. And repick the focus. And now you can see our little mineral field here. Cool. So now one thing I want to test is the mask attribute. That should be color user data. And mask should work fine. Or not. Oh. There's a really big mistake here. You need, of course, to place a material there. Sorry for that. Material proxy. Get it in here. And of course, on the material, we need to change that to point attributes. And now let's restart our render window. Yes, and it should work now. So we are pretty much good to go. Okay. First of all, I want to make like a basic assembly. I think that should be fine. Of course, we can leave the color on or off. Let's just make a base assembly, and I think a good thing to start off with that is like to build a little L system. And what I also want to do, I want to introduce random p-scale, because currently every mineral instance got like the same scale, and let's introduce some random p-scale. Of course, again, you can do it with every node you want to do. I will just use my little preset here. So let's go for a 75% difference. And what I want to do, let's place down L system. L system. And now the cool thing is, of course, you can play with it. Let's go for functions. Oh my god, that was a long time ago I played with L systems. Let's just try something here. Or we can just use a preset. Nope. Lighting. Nope. The cool thing is, of course, the lighting will have different seeds, so we could choose something like that, because that looks not too shabby. And what I want to do here, let's just sweep it. And on round tube, apply scale along curve. Let's just lock the camera. Let's go in here, let's find a focus. And let's set up our material. So of course, you can basically play around with a lot of materials. That's that's of course the point, to like play around with it. And yeah, the standard material already looks like pretty cool. But now we can yeah, start to build up a material. And what I want to do is I want to introduce on the L system a little more points. So like, I don't know, 1,000, 1,200, 500 to fill it up here. Oh, and here. And let's go higher on the. Maybe that already will do the job. Yes, looking good. So let's go to our little material. Here's like one, and yeah, a few others. So what you can do, just play around, for example, with a metallic look. Why not? Why the fuck not? Like for example, a dark one with a roughness, and you could introduce a code with color, and maybe make it a little bit lighter, just a little bit, so to just get an initial feeling about the mineral. And what I want to do, I want to just turn off our lights here, and I want to introduce a light. So this camera is here. I want to go for maybe like a simple side light. Let's make it a little bit bigger. And we can also use a texture on the light. Let's go for textures, Grayscale Gorilla. Those are pretty good, just buy them. Of course you can do that on your own now, with like, I don't know, a few minutes of Midjourney. You can create wonderful gobos. So that's like a cool thing. Okay. Now we've got a pretty harsh side light, which I really like because I like hard light. Of course, it's currently soft. Let's decrease that and decrease the exposure value of, I don't know, -2 maybe. Or what we also can do, we can go like a more softer look. Let's make it bigger. Let's make it bigger. And move it a little bit away. Just a little bit. And something like that should be fine. And what I want to do, I want to introduce the standard material again quickly. So looking something like that looks already pretty cool from the light. Of course, one light looks always good. I will change the exposure a little bit. And what I want to do, I want to, let's shift this light here. Just a little bit. And the other light, I want to use that light for like a harsh rim light. And for example, what you could do, you could multiply it with, I don't know, green, blue, red. Or just make it a little bit warmer. Let's go into the orange section here. And let's get a really, really desaturated color. And now I think -7. Should be fine in that case. And now what we can do, we can rearrange our mineral a little bit. And I still want to focus on that middle one. So let's try to I think that looks pretty okay-ish. Something like that. And now we can start up with our mineral material. Of course, maybe we need to change it, maybe not. Here's just a look. But here, let's start with that one. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, what we need to do is first of all 2 standard materials. So 1 and 2, simple like that. Then we need a material blender. So what I want to do, I want to blend 2 materials with our given mask. So color, use the data, and we will use the mask here. Quickly connect that and it will work. So when we now connect our material blender and we've got our base material on the top and our underlying material on the bottom, and this will be, for example, red, you can see that our second layer that we've created in our loop is red. And now we can blend several materials with this technique. Of course, now you can rewrite the proxies if you don't want too much of the second layer, and so on. But what I want to do for the second layer, I want like a more of a subsurface material. So what I want to do, let's apply that on the overall material. Let's just set that to black. We don't need color currently. And let's introduce subsurface here. And I think already the subsurface gives a nice look. So let's just play with the radius. Let's go for 0.05. And of course, then you can play, for example, with the color, which is pretty cool, and of course with the radius color. And you could use something for that, like for the final mineral, fully up to you, of course. But what I want to do, I want to reset them quickly, and I want to introduce a little bit of a noise over our materials. I want to get like two, one like more detailed and the other one a little bit bigger and broader. So let's get a Luca noise and a more high contrasty blistered turbulence noise. And what we can do with those two noises is we can color composite them together. And on average, and let's decrease the contrast here a little bit. And what I want to do, I want to use that as a with a ramp to then introduce maybe an orange color, I don't know. So like an orange to white color. And let's pipe that into MS color. And you can already see it will like pop up a little bit, which is nice. Just refresh the window here. And of course you can try out, for example, different presets here, sometimes pretty cool. That looks cool. Let's just leave it like a more like a colorful one, like that. And what I want to do, I want to recreate a second one with two layers. So let's introduce that one here, and I want to offset the whole thing. I want to composite it again to an average, yes. And I want to use that as a bump, so to just get in a little bit of detail. Of course, you can also use maps. No, not maps. You can use textures, of course. Okay. Oh, that looks also cool. It's like really desaturated, but we take it. Then what I want to do on that side, I want to get some nice dark metal in here, or like metalness. And what I can do, I can rearrange our bump input, and let's look at the metal material as a whole thing. Pipe that into bump. And let's see our scale. 2.05 should do the job. And now those are both merged together. Just grab the whole thing here. No. And it already looked pretty nice. Of course, it's like a really desaturated look. What you can do, what I also did here, I tried then out different ramps, how the subsurface color will, like for example, affect the reflection on, oh my god, on the metal, for example. Then of course also the radius, so you can play with the radius too, of course. Let's go for two-tone. That will be pretty colorful, I think. But yeah, now you can. Oh, that looks cool. And of course, now it looks like some floaty stuff. So you can, of course, rearrange your pattern size of the maxo noise, so the scale basically. Or you can introduce like a other scale here, so it looks like a transparent thing. So now you can see it's like really transparent. Other thing what I like to do is to play with glass. So this is just like a really quick example what you could do. Introduce a little bit of colored glass. And now like an orange glass. Just disable the yeah, that's a lot of glass. Of course, then you can dial down the second layer, for example, on the proxies. But also looks pretty okayish. And you can desaturate it and, for example, play then with a second material. Because maybe you want like the opposite, so you want like a bluish material, or for the mineral, and that's on the reflection. Whoops. Let's desaturate it a little bit. Something like that. Could also be cool. Or, of course, what you can do, you can ramp the whole thing and invert it. So you can let like the big base shape be your glass subsurface material, for example, and your smaller second layer shape could be your metal, for example. So that's of course fully up to you how you will handle that. And let's just render that for a second. Also looks pretty cool. Of course, that's fully subjective, and you can do whatever you want. Yeah, that could be also a look. Why not? I need to say I really like sometimes like this desaturated look. But yeah, and now for like the animation, there are a lot of things. So what you could do, what I really like to do, is to use the bend. The bend is like a really normal note, so it's like basically nothing that special. But the cool thing is you can get some really nice transformations with the simple bend node. So when you just pipe it in here and then like start to like bend it up, for example, it will look pretty cool. Or you can animate it. This is, for example, the bend. What I also like is the twist. So you could use like a combination of bending and twisting. So when you go, of course we need to get, oh no, the frame is gone. I can't remember the frame now. Maybe I will when I look at the video. But let's just copy the whole thing here again. No, the frame is gone. Fuck it. I think it was, I don't know. That one here? Could that be 45? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Let's look at the camera. Nah, that was not the frame, I think. Let's just disable the bend. No. Let's quickly find that frame. It can. That was the frame. Yeah. Oh, was it the frame? Yes, it was the frame. Okay, 42. Okay, let's delete the channel on the random seed. That would be a good first step. And then introduce the bend. And for example, you can start with a really harsh bend, like I don't know, 300 degrees, and then bend it up to like back to like a more normal value. And in the same time, you can introduce some twisting. So like from 100 to back to 0. And you will have something like that, like a unwrapping mineral tree. Of course, you can then introduce like with the mobs spring, for example. Where's the spring modifier? There's the spring modifier. Can introduce a little bit of a wiggle. And a secondary motion, for example. Okay, let's. This is really low. Let's see what will happen. Oh, that looks cool. Like a little bit more. Yeah, you can play with that, for example. What I also did in, whoops. Delete. What you then could do, for example, what I also did here. I think that was a like quick, really quick test with an attribute rig, I think. Like to do something like that, but you can do it. You can also do it with a band. Another thing, what I did, where is it? What you could do will be another breakdown. Maybe we can do that next month with like a specific growth effect. I don't know if you want that. I got something else planned for next month, but this was just, for example, a really simple particle animation. And of course, the nice thing is with the particle animation is that you can just get your proxies on here and let the minerals move, for example. Of course, they will collide. You can like counteract that a little bit with vellum grains or just p-scale, but that could be a thing. So on the animation side, you're pretty. That's again the wrong tree, I think. you're pretty open to experiment, but maybe we can do that next month with I don't know, a p-scale growth tutorial. Or there's also what you could apply is I did a tutorial on Patreon back with proxies, with grass proxies on a Chanel or on a, I think on a bottle, on a perfume bottle. So you could re-amplify that growth. I think it was a pyro growth on the minerals here. Why not? So that could be another option. Yes, so I hope you liked that tutorial and you learned something. I hope so. And of course, now it's your time to shine and to play with like different. Oh, it's gold. With like different materials, different settings on the individual proxy. I think that's one of the nicest thing to do, to introduce more and more iterations. And of course, what you also can do, play with the organic thing. So just blur it out, make those sticks really long. I don't know. That's now your turn to play with it and to experiment with it, to go into that R&D stage and yeah, make something nice out of it. And I will see you definitely in the next month Patreon. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, have a great day, happy experimenting, and I will see you.